Good afternoon, welcome back. It is still Sunday. It is actually Sunday, February 5th, 2023. We do have a few birthdays today. Like I say, we got a pretty big one today and several other ones as well. So we're going to start off with the ones that I don't have as many cards of. Born on this date in 1953. Only made a handful of NASCAR starts, more known for his Trans Am road racing prowess and success. Mr. Dorsey Schrader. Here you see a 92 Black Max. He's in a Phillips 66 uniform there. He did run the fall race at Charlotte in 1991 for Cale Yarborough. There you see he did, sorry about that, he did blow his engine, finished 41st in the field that day. Kind of a strange place to make his debut. Then here's a 93 Max. He did run the 92 Daytona 500 for Junie Donlevy's team, and the 92 Pro Set card that I have of him actually has that car. It's a very nice looking car. Of course, I always like those numbers that have that gradient on the number, or even just the whole car in general. So, Mr. Dorsey Schrader. Up next, a longtime crewman in the Busch Series and in sometime Cup Series, born on this date in 1957. Son of the legendary David Pearson, Mr. Ricky Pearson. Of course, he is in his Alliance Racing crew shirts here when he was crew chief for Robert Presley. There you can see the car right there. Don't see it in the background, but he was crew chief for Robert Presley in the then Busch Series. Now, I had a heck of a time finding this next driver. I knew I had him, and I had it sorted out, and then I couldn't find it. Born on this date in 1981, son of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Terry Labonte. You have Justin Labonte, who does have one Xfinity Series win at Chicagoland in this car. Got a couple of that here. There he is in 2005. Let's see, that's Trackside and that's Stealth. I kind of put these cards on the same level of quality, as well as Optima. They were kind of that mid to lower level quality. Here's an insert Stealth, No Boundaries. Have a couple of those. Don't think I have too much more of him. But here is a 2001 Trackside, I believe it is. The die cut and the base. No, I'm sorry, that's NASCAR 2000. And his rookie card I just looked up a little bit ago is in 1999. I believe it's in the wheel set. That's actually a nice looking card of Justin. I do like this one from SP Authentic. Justin had very, very, very limited success in the Xfinity Series. There's been a couple people do videos on him, a couple of the YouTubers. I would kind of consider Justin a bust, but at the same time, he didn't get opportunities in what I would call a top-flight car, because at this point in the Labonte Brothers racing career, as far as ownership, their team was kind of headed south. They really didn't have that Hendrick or Gibbs technical alliance like they did prior to. So up next, born on this date in, let's find it, 1986, so he's slightly younger. He was a big-time prospect in the Xfinity Series for a few years, moved up to Cup, and just things didn't pan out. Mr. Reed Sorensen. So I try to get cards from every team that I could see or every sponsor that he drove for, and these are in no particular order. I really like this one with the vintage look, with the kind of that gray photo. You have the Daytona Beach there, and he's got the old leather helmet on. There's one of him in his Nationwide, or Busch Series at the time, when he was running for Rookie of the Year with Chip Ganassi's team. He ran with Turner Motorsports for a year with Dollar General sponsorship, and actually got released before the end of the year despite being like third or fourth in points, and ran a couple races for McDonald Motorsports. McDonald's was a sponsor of him for a couple years in the Cup Series when he was driving for Richard Petty Motorsports in the 43. Another premium Motorsports uniform, of course, Target. He was a Target driver before Kyle Larson, but after Jimmy Spencer and Casey Mears. There's another one. That's a nice looking card. I really do like that one. I think Reed, I don't want to call him a bust because he had moderate success in the Cup Series, but most of the teams that he was with is when they were on their downward trajectory. So he kind of got that ick on him, if you will, where he was when he joined Ganassi, they had already kind of had their success with Marlin in the early 2000s. Obviously, Petty was after Bobby Hamilton, Bobby Labonte had their moderate success, and Reed Sorensen came in the mid 2000s, and again the team was just they went through Christian Fittipaldi and Jeff Green and a couple others, and was just not. And they were in the middle of that merge with Gillette Evernham, so that was just he was caught in the middle of all sorts of paperwork there. So Reed never did get I feel, I don't want to call it a fair shake, because the rides that he had were somewhat competitive, but there was always, I believe, behind the scenes turmoil that made it difficult for Reed to be successful at the Cup level. He does have several Xfinity Series wins, was successful in that series, but the teams that he was racing for at the time, they were on top of their game. So, and our final birthday for the day, this is the biggest one of the day. Born on this date in 1947, Hall of Famer, three-time Cup Series champion, one-time Daytona 500 winner. If you guessed ODW, you guessed correctly. So what's that make him? 70? He's almost. Let's see here. So 77, I guess. 70. Is my math right? Yeah, 77, 76. So he's 76 this year today. But here's his. And I try to put these in order of not necessarily of set, but in the chronological photo appearance. So Terminal Trucking during his rookie season and second season in Cup. Then we have one. Oops, that one's actually out of order. That one should be here. So we have a mid-70s, late 70s Gatorade with Dyguard team. These hairstyles are just atrocious, but that's what they did then. Then we have an 81-82 with Junior Johnson. We have an 83 when he was with the Pepsi car. Again, Junior Johnson. And there was one, I didn't have one with his Budweiser uniform on, but in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, he went to Rick Hendrick with the Tide Ride. There's another one. And this card here is from the 1990 Max set. It was, if you bought a factory set of Max, this acrylic set came with it, with the nice little checkerboard car and a nice driver. The backs are blank, but they're nice cards. We've seen the one for Lake Speed on when we did Lake Speed's birthday. Here's a 91 Max update, I believe. Or does 91 update have his Western Auto uniform? I believe so. So when he became his own car owner, switched over to Western Auto livery. Of course, 98, after Builders Square defaulted on payments, he had to shut his team down. He drove for DEI for a while. Didn't see any Tabasco uniforms. Probably better off that we don't remember that period. Then the last 2 years he was with Travis Carter Motorsports. Now to get some visuals on the cars, this was his championship car in 1985. See the notchback Monte Carlo there. Then action-packed 1995 action-packed Country, Winston Cup Country, whatever they called it. Had these sets of different drivers. They had Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, and DW or subsets. So there you see an old Dyguard car. There's the Mountain Dew Buick, very iconic look there, as well as the Pepsi Challenger. Now that's not the block style nose Monte Carlo. That's more of the older style. And you can see the difference in the noses on those. This one ran exclusively in 1984. I really like this paint job. You had the blue trim on the bottom, the chrome numbers. You had the Budweiser ribbon. They should have stuck with this scheme, in my opinion. But again, in 85, they switched it up. I'm guessing Budweiser wanted a different look. The fonts remained the same. And this is something you guys can go back and look at. 1984, 85, and 86. And I always thought this was really strange. Junior Johnson had a two-car team, Darrell Waltrip and Neil Bonnet. Everything was identical on this car. Now, this paint scheme was definitely different from the 11 to the 12, but the 11 and 12 car had the exact same paint scheme, except the font on the numbers was different all 3 years. The 12 car during these 2 years was all red with white trim at the bottom and white lettering there on the side. course, we talked about the Tide Ride. This would be 87, 88, 89, thereabouts. Then he switched to his own team with Western Auto. Then in 96, Western Auto was rebranded as Parts America. They used their Parts America branding. Always ran that chrome car at the big races. This looks like this is actually Indianapolis back in the garage area. You can see all the yellow shirts back there. Those people are crazy strict. Even if you have a credential, they'll look at it. You could go walk by them 10 times, and every time, I need to see your credential. I need to look in your camera bag. I need to look. So it's like they're retired TSA employees. I didn't have a Pennzoil one available or a Tabasco one, but we do have his final ride, the Route 66 car. A couple other ones here. He did run some Truck Series races, so he had Sears Die Hard as well as a similar painted up to his Cup car, Western Auto. So DW had a storied career, 84 wins, 3 championships, 1989 Daytona 500 winner, 1985 All-Star Race winner, plus countless other wins in the Busch Clash, the qualifying races, and several pole positions. And 1989 and 1990 most popular driver. You can't forget that because he was sandwiched in between all of Bill Elliott's runs there. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video today. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. As always, thank you for watching. Really do appreciate it. Again, I'm enjoying this series. Some of you seem to be enjoying this as well, because we're deep diving into a little more granular NASCAR history. Excuse me, thought I was going to cough there. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Remember, tonight is the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. Look forward to watching that. Practice and qualifying was somewhat entertaining, so it'll be interesting to see how the race is. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.